What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your fourth stimulus check update and daily news report. Several different stimulus provisions we're going to cover today, multiple different ways to get money that we're going to talk about that you might not actually know about. There's so many different stimulus items or provisions that have been passed and or are going to be passed possibly in the new upcoming infrastructure slash stimulus package. We're going to talk about that, and also some people are concerned about what Dr. Fauci just said. So we're going to jump right in. If you're new to the channel, make sure to join our family and subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on videos about the upcoming round, the fourth round of stimulus, and the upcoming stimulus fourth stimulus check. That's a mouthful. Don't forget to hit the like button, and here we go. Some people are concerned about what Dr. Fauci said about some breakthrough infections possibly happening after your vaccination.
A breakthrough infection or a vaccine failure is when a person contracts an infection despite being vaccinated against it. We see this with all vaccines in clinical trials, and in the real world, no vaccine is 100% efficacious or effective, which means that you will always see breakthrough infections regardless of the efficacy of your vaccine.
This comes as Republican outspoken Senator Rand Paul just slammed Dr. Fauci. Senator Rand Paul says Fauci continues to ignore 100 years of vaccine science. His only real theme is do what I say, even when it makes no sense. If you've recovered or been vaccinated, go about your life. Eat, drink, work, and open the schools. Enough with the petty tyrants. Senator Rand Paul included this video with his tweet.
Eating and drinking indoors in restaurants and bars, is that okay now?
No, it's still not okay for the simple reason that the level of infection, the dynamics of infection in the community are still really disturbingly high. Like just yesterday, there were close to 80,000 new infections, and we've been hanging around 60, 70, 75,000. So if you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated as soon as vaccine becomes available to you. And if you are vaccinated, please remember that you still have to be careful and not get involved in crowded situations, particularly indoors where people are not wearing masks.
This comes as we are seeing a new spike up in cases. We were down to a low of about 40 to 50,000 new positive cases every single day. And just a few days ago on April 8th, we've seen a new high of, well, over the last few weeks, 81,000 new cases in just a single day. This is actually higher than the high we had all last summer, which averaged around 60 to 70,000 new cases, but is nowhere near the winter high that we had in December and January, where we actually hit 300,000 new cases per day. The new variant strains are actually the predominant strains in the United States now, with the original variant not being the dominant strain anymore. The U.S. has now crossed 31 million people that have tested positive for the virus, likely more in there because not everybody actually goes and gets tested. 562,000 deaths in the United States, and almost 3 million people have passed from this virus worldwide. New stimulus is still being passed worldwide as various different countries are still experimenting and or already passing more stimulus package. Italy is preparing a new stimulus package this week as the government goes to pass it, a source close to the matter said on Monday. The White House Transportation Secretary said that President Biden will have a, quote, open mind toward changes in the next package, the infrastructure slash stimulus package. This infrastructure package will likely have multiple different stimulus items in there before all is said and done. We have almost 100 different senators and U.S. House representatives pushing for a fourth stimulus check right now. In fact, they're all pushing for monthly stimulus payments at this point. This could be negotiated down to just a single stimulus check before all is said and done. But we do have more and more Democrats from both the Senate and the House actually pushing for recurring stimulus checks every single day to be added into this infrastructure package before all is said and done. There's two different proposals, one from the Senate, Senator Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren as the co-sponsors for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks until the pandemic is over. The earliest Dr. Fauci says the pandemic could be declared over would be the end of this year. So think December 31st at the earliest is what that could be. So you still could look at possibly 6 or 7 more months of $2,000 monthly stimulus checks if they were to pass this bill. They could also pass this bill from the U.S. House of Representatives that grows in popularity, that has a $2,000 one-time stimulus check and then $1,000 monthly recurring payments. Although this bill goes, it's $1,000 per month instead of $2,000 per month, a $2,000 check to start, but then $1,000 monthly recurring stimulus checks. And this bill goes until 1 year after the pandemic. Both these bills, this is the House bill and this is the Senate bill, are for monthly recurring stimulus checks to be included in this infrastructure package. Let's talk about a couple of the other different stimulus provisions that have been passed in some of the either second stimulus check package, the third stimulus check package, or actually states that are passing their own stimulus checks. I've been getting a lot of questions on the $600 California state stimulus check. And yes, this is actually a thing. It's about for 6 million low-income Californians. This was passed just by the state of California. We've also seen New Mexico do this and Maryland do this just in the last month or so. We're going to be seeing a lot more states do packages like this on the state level and the county level when the states get their $350 billion from the third stimulus check package. The states have not gotten that money yet, but should get it within the next few weeks. I will keep you up to date on all these when this comes around. I remember from the first stimulus check package, it took a few months after that package was passed, but we had all sorts of county-wide and statewide stimulus checks. I remember most notably Orange County, Florida had 3 different rounds of $1,000 stimulus checks. And I remember that every single day there was literally a new program popping up, states and counties. In fact, I think there was more counties that did it than statewide programs. That was from the first package, okay? We've now gone through several different stimulus packages, but only the first one had money for states and cities. The second stimulus check package, was supposed to have $160 billion for states and cities. However, at the last minute, almost literally the last minute, they took that money and gave it to you guys as the second stimulus check. And that money equated to $600, and that is how the $600 second stimulus check came to be. But now, in the third stimulus check package, states are getting an additional $350 billion, and there is a provision in there that says they have to spend more of the money this time around, or they could forfeit. They're actually only going to give half the money to each state to start, unless they're a high unemployment state. So they're going to get half the money, most states, and then they're going to have to prove to the federal government how they spent the money. And there's a provision in there that says they have to spend more of the money on programs like statewide stimulus checks with qualifications, countywide stimulus checks, mortgage assistance, rental assistance, property tax assistance, and utility assistance. So that will be coming around in the next several weeks or so. I'll keep you up to date when they come. But I remember from the first package when that happened, and I don't remember if you were watching the show back then. This was probably last fall. But man, it was so crazy. I literally had whole entire episodes where I just went through county, state, county, because there was just dozens of them. And these are just literally stimulus programs that give you stimulus checks, or they give you mortgage assistance or rental assistance, or they pay your rent. And we had some counties doing vouchers, gift cards, so that you could go and spend it and help the local economy, but also give you money at the same time. There was a lot of different packages, and that'll be a cool thing for me to update you on when that becomes available. That's already passed, It's from the third stimulus check package, but as you know, some of these programs take time to get the money out. Just like the child income tax credit, this is probably the biggest package around. That's $3,000 to $3,600 per child. That's already passed. Okay, that's going to be paid in either monthly payments of $250 to $300 per month or lump sum. I'll keep you up to date on that as well, because if you have children, you make less than $150,000 and you have a social security number, you're getting an additional $3,000 to $3,600 per child from the third stimulus check package, likely starting here in the next few months. So that's the child income tax credit, and the IRS wants to pay you in monthly stimulus payments. So that'll be a really good thing to look forward to as well with the fourth round of stimulus. However, back to the $600 stimulus check for Californians. This is about 6 million people. Getting a lot of questions on this, so I want to cover this on who is eligible. Let me make this larger so you can see this here. In fact, I'm going to remove myself from the screen so you can see here. California will provide Golden State stimulus payments to families and people who qualify. This is a one-time $600 or $1,200 payment per tax return. You may receive this payment if you receive the California Earned Income Tax Credit or file with an ITIN. The Golden State stimulus aims to support low-income Californians and help those facing with a hardship due to COVID-19. To check if you qualify, for most Californians who qualify, you don't need to do anything to receive the stimulus, but you do need to file a tax return. That's that's one of the most important things we're going to get to here. To check if you qualify for the Golden State stimulus, you must have filed your 2020 taxes. This is the most important thing. If you do not file a tax return, you will not get the money. You will have to file a tax return to get this money, okay? Because this is the part of the qualifications. So you can file a tax return by going to the IRS and Googling IRS free file, and that will file an IRS tax return. But I do not know the specifics about if you can file a state tax return for free through California. You could probably Google it, look it up, or have TurboTax or somebody like that do it for you. So you have to file your 2020 tax returns. You have to qualify for the California Earned Income Tax Credit or be an ITIN filer who made less than $75,000. You have to live in California for more than half of the 2020 tax year, be a California resident, and not be eligible to be claimed as a dependent. Now remember, one of these qualifications is to qualify for the California Earned Income Tax Credit. This is a different qualification than if you have an ITIN number, which most people don't, okay? So to qualify for this California Earned Income Tax Credit, which is an additional tax credit you can get, you have to have had taxable earned income less than $30,000 and not used married/RDP filing separately on your tax return and meet other qualifications. According to the state of California, payments will be issued after your 2020 tax returns are processed and you qualify. Those who qualify and set up for direct deposit can expect a payment within 45 days, and those who don't can receive a paper check within 60 days. Let me know if you or a family member or friend already received your $600 state stimulus check from California. Comment down below. If you see that comment, give that comment a like or a thumbs up so it rises to the top. And ask any questions that you might have down below in the comments, especially to somebody who may have already received that California tax credit stimulus check, because they just might have additional answers for you. Also, AOC, Congresswoman AOC says, update, just heard from Senator Chuck Schumer that over 1 million calls were made today from our funeral assistance program. This is another program that is passed from the second stimulus check package that can reimburse you for a family member who passed away from COVID-19 in the last year, up to $9,000 of a stimulus check from the government for funeral reimbursement. FEMA has shored up support for these in the first few days. Thank you for all getting the word out to help make this happen. It's interesting that they had over 1 million calls because, well, only 562,000 Americans have died from COVID. So yeah, hopefully there's not any fraud going on. But whenever programs like this come out, that does seem to happen. But if you want to call about the funeral assistance, stimulus assistance, the phone number is 844-684-6333. If you had a family member pass, my condolences, our condolences to you. But hopefully, this stimulus program from the government will at least pay for part or all of the funeral. The groundwork is being laid for President Biden to cancel between $10,000 and $50,000 of student loan forgiveness, possibly this week. There might be an announcement of this happening this week. President Biden has already canceled 3 different mini rounds of student loan forgiveness, literally within the last few weeks. The first round was $1 billion for certain people. That was for people who were defrauded by their schools or the school closed. The second round was for $1.3 billion. Even though we're saying billions here, it's actually a small amount of people because it really adds up quickly. The second round was for $1.3 billion, people with disabilities that have certain qualifications. The third round was pausing payments, interest, and collections on over 1 million people that qualified for the third round. But I think the fourth round could be the big round. President Biden has said he is willing to do at least $10,000 of student loan forgiveness. However, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, and a lot of the Democrats have been pushing for him to do up to $50,000 in student loan forgiveness. And President Biden has had his education secretary and legal counsel looking into if he can do this simply through a presidential executive order, which means it doesn't need to pass through the House or the Senate. It doesn't need to be in a package or a bill. He literally can sign on the dotted line and make this student loan forgiveness debt just simply go away by simply signing. In fact, President Trump had the opportunity to do this because I remember reporting on this last year before the election, where Senators Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren said that, and they said this when President Trump was president, that he could forgive also $10,000 to $50,000 of student loan forgiveness simply through a presidential executive order. I thought at the time, and again, not being a Democrat or not being a Republican, but if Trump was trying to pull a rabbit out of his hat before the election, just because I seen polls were down, and of course I know a lot of people don't believe in polls, but I tend to be a data person. So if I see data and I think it's correct, I tend to follow the data. And the data was saying that Trump was behind in the polls. So again, I just went with that. So I was thinking, if Trump needs to do something to pull a rabbit out of his hat and get, say, an additional 5% of possible people to come over and vote for him, 2 things he can do. Number 1 is pass a stimulus check through a executive order. I'm still a little baffled by that today because he passed unemployment checks, unemployment stimulus bonus checks of $300 per week for 6 weeks. So literally billions and billions of dollars, checks going out to unemployed people. So if he could do that through an executive order, why couldn't he do just a regular stimulus check for regular everyday people through an executive order? So I still to this day am a little baffled by that. He probably gained some votes by doing the executive order for the unemployed people. But he could have also done the stimulus checks, but he also could have done the student loan forgiveness. Now, as you can see here in this old article, Trump has included student loan forgiveness proposals and a couple different things on a very smaller amount, similar to Biden's $1 billion smaller rounds that he did. But Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Elizabeth Warren both said that the current president or the next president could have done this through executive order. So Trump had the opportunity to also do the mass student loan forgiveness, but we know he didn't end up doing it. And I think that Biden's going to possibly do that here within the next week. So I'll keep you up to date on all the upcoming rounds of stimulus, along with all these statewide and countywide programs and different provisions that are becoming available now from the second and third stimulus check package. And honestly, any one of these packages could mean thousands of dollars for your family. So I'll keep you up to date on everything. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. After subscribing, click the bell icon that appears to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos, which is every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next, or this video is about how you can get mortgage forbearance and possibly not have to pay your mortgage payment for several different months. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.